What do you think makes somewhere child friendly?
What type of people are there? We are checking to see all of the kid-friendly things that we need. Like, are there decent high chairs? I hate those plastic white IKEA ones.
I'll reference baby changing, having changing facilities and men's changing.
Why?
Children are the future. Children are, the generation that needs to be looked after.
Oh my God, what are they doing? In the pram, then he goes to the high chair, then it's toys, then it's food. I think it's really important. Table for two and a baby. No, it was a table for three. Why has the high chair only got 3 legs?
What are your top tips for taking babies out with you?
No, because I'm going to disagree here.
Hi everybody, and welcome to our newest episode of At Home with the Hutchinsons. You're joined by me, Amelia, and my wonderful husband, Cameron. Welcome back. Today we are talking about what it means to be child friendly. And this is something that's come around because we are now in that realm of taking Gabriel out to many different places. And we actually went out with some friends last weekend. We were talking about rating the high chair and how good it was for Gabriel.
Yes.
And it kind of got us thinking about being child friendly. What does it mean? What do we expect? Do we expect too much? So I'm going to go straight into it and say, what do you think makes somewhere child friendly?
The welcome that you get, because as parents, I believe you put a pressure on yourself. So when you're going out, you want your child or children to behave.
Yeah.
And if you feel on edge when you arrive, if the serving staff or the initial greeting staff make you feel welcome and at ease, then that is nice. And I'll reference Grosvenor House. We had that scenario then. They made us feel very welcome and comfortable. So that kind of just disarms you and allows you to enjoy yourself. Making sure that there are proper amenities. Maybe we are high chair snobs, but it's important to have a decent high chair.
Yeah.
And I guess the general ambience of the restaurant, you don't want it to be too loud. You don't want it to be too busy because, you want, if we just talk about Gabriel, you want him to enjoy a nice calm meal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have taken Gabriel out from a very young age.
We have.
And I think that's done us really well, and I think it's done him really well. It does get more complicated as he's got older because there's the whole, when do we go out? What's the first nap? What's the second nap? Should we go out before, and it's just that whole military operation, which behind the scenes you don't really see, but I get what you mean about arriving somewhere and feeling like you can relax because you've already done the military operation to get him out.
Which, and I will say we were guilty of this before we had children. When you've arranged a time to be somewhere and then it was us who were late. Now, not that it's happened to us, thankfully, all of our friends have been on time, but we were the late ones. And now I understand why our friends might have been a bit like, could you not arrive on time for this one? You've not got children to get ready or bowls to pack or naps to consider. You should just arrive at the restaurant ready to go.
There's a definite shift of perspectives.
Yes.
For example, previously, pre-baby, what would you expect from a restaurant? Like, what were your expectations of going out for dinner?
Well, we would always go to Instagram first. You'd check the Instagram profile. You'd see what type of people are there. What are they wearing? Is there live music? You check you do a vibe check on the place to see have I got like the rooftop views and this place looks good. Now we are checking to see all of the kid-friendly things that we need. Like, are there actually children in the restaurant? Are there decent high chairs? I know we keep referring back to it, but I if you've got one, I'm sorry. I hate those plastic white IKEA ones. I'm sorry. There is a better way. But you check. I think we still check Instagram, but we check it in a different way now to be like, are we going to feel comfortable as a family there? My caveat is I still don't want to go to a place that is for kids. And maybe I think in time I've just got to suck that up.
We will have to, because there are going to be periods of time where we go somewhere because it's child friendly, because of the long hot summers here, there will be times where we have to be indoors, and that might have to be a soft play because it's the only way to get out the energy. But I think at the moment we're in a really lovely stage where he can come out to dinner with us. He's started, I mean, since 6 months he's been eating really well, and you know, he's growing so nicely, and he really enjoys coming out with us and sitting at the table. And I think because we emulate what we do at home, he sits with us, we have our meals together, we've always done that, and it's always really worked for us. But there's definite changes in what we look for, and there's definite changes in, you know, if something's not there. For example, I'll reference baby changing. Very often, baby changing, you know, you expect it to be there, and if it's not, it's kind of like, well, where am I meant to change the baby? We went to one restaurant, and they said they didn't have baby changing facilities, which really surprised me because there were so many children and young babies in the restaurant. The second thing to that is having changing facilities in the men's changing.
Yes.
In the men's toilets.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you will go to the mall with Gabriel. Where are you meant to change him? But actually the malls here are fabulous.
Yeah, I agree.
And most restaurants we've been to, again, have been really fabulous with that. But it's just connecting.
Well, it's when the standard in Dubai is so high, when a place doesn't quite hit the mark because they don't have what we would class as basic facilities, i.e. changing facilities in the restaurant. Why?
Yeah.
And surely there's something out there to be able to get your license to be able to call yourself a venue. Like, surely there's a checklist.
But the great thing about being parents at this stage is you just improvise now. Before, you know, a couple of months old, you would not have done that. It would have had to be on a changing mat, but now you just improvise. But
then isn't that just part and parcel of how you evolve as humans and as parents? For example, I will be very honest now. If we reference the restaurant that we went back to, you said, okay, there's no changing facilities. Great, well, he needs to be changed, so I'm going to have to change him inside the restaurant. Now, people watching this might go, oh my God, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let me finish. It was discreet, yes. But we, as pre-Gabriel humans, would have looked at that and judged and gone, oh my God, what are they doing? How come they're changing their baby inside the restaurant? Sadly, if it's got to be done, it's got to be done. You know?
It has.
And it's just part of evolving as parents. And I immediately in that moment went from the judgmental person to the... You looked
at me.
Yeah, we've got to...
Yeah.
We've got to make it happen.
And
it's got to be comfortable.
It is that thing when you go out with children, your needs, what you're looking for changes. We, obviously, again, we like to have him sat with us at the table. We, for the first few times, took him out, and we always have a bag of toys, because when you have a child of our age, you always have a bag of toys. And I think as he gets older, there's always a bag of snacks, but we're not there yet. And we gave him a toy that was quite noisy, that he uses at home and we're fine with, but when he's banging it on the table in quite a crowded restaurant,
well, this is the toy in question, actually. So this is the toy. So it has the bell inside. It's also wooden, so you can imagine the noise it makes when it hits a wooden table. He's banging this toy around, and the poor people on the table next to us are trying to enjoy
a nice
their meal,
lunch.
And they were very good, but we quickly realised that maybe we should give him the toys that don't make any noise when we are out at dinner.
Yeah, and it's just all of these things that you don't really think about until you get to the point of it. So, yeah, and we have talked about the stages of being out when we're eating. So, you know, you arrive, he's in the pram, he's happy, you give him some toys. When he's not happy, then you move him to the high chair, and then you move him, you know, to eating food that you've bought or that, you know, is being ordered and
well, pro tip, at this age, he needs bread. Just some good old plain bread and butter to keep him occupied. But you're right, it's a conveyor belt. He starts off in the pram, then he goes to the high chair, then it's toys, then it's food. And we've got to, in that window, order.
Yeah.
Hope that the food comes in a reasonable time.
Yeah.
Eat, so that by the time he's finished the next stage of the conveyor belt and he wants out, we've finished our meal.
So I think it's really important. I don't know where I'm going from here.
Okay. I think it's really important.
So we've gone from the expectation shift, we've gone from not having a bad experience, the change facilities, we haven't done the parking bays, but maybe we don't need to.
Stages of taking babies out.
So going out with Gabriel, I think goes past just the physical, the restaurant, the high chair, which, you know, you have standards on. I think it goes past that.
You also have the standards as well,
Yeah,
so don't make me out to just be the judgmental one, because you wanted to buy
It's just
the
a really
expensive high chair.
interesting topic of conversation that we never would have had a few years ago.
Well, the friends that were with us said, "What, do you actually rate high chairs?" And we were like, "Yeah." And actually, in that particular restaurant,
that point, and now
we rated 6 out of 10 for that high chair.
Had no tray, so he was...
Had no tray.
Yeah.
But was wooden. Anyway, we digress massively.
Moving away from the physical aspects of what restaurants and, you know, places in Dubai offer, what else is important?
Well, I touched on it earlier on, but the environment that is created by great service, or vice versa, very bad service, we have been very lucky, and shout out to all the hospitality outlets that we've been to. They've been fantastic. From an initial welcome, moving tables and chairs out of the way to get through with the pram, putting us in a place in the restaurant that is nice and pleasant. And again, I know we shouldn't really reference, but I have to because it was so good. We went for a Sunday roast at Rhodes W1 in the Grosvenor House Hotel in the Marina. We've been there many times. So many times, in fact, that they recognised Gabriel and said, "Oh, he was young when he came before."
Such a special touch, wasn't it?
And it was really nice because they came and said hi to him, and they got down on his level and made him feel, and he probably didn't feel, but it made us feel like he was there having a meal with us as well. It's not just a case of, oh, well, it's table for 2 and a baby. No, it was a table for 3.
Yeah.
And that's something really nice.
Do you think it's Dubai specific that has that feel, or do you think it's just that babies generally are well received?
I think that I might upset some people in the UK now. Let's be clear, we've only really spent 2 weeks in the UK with Gabriel, right? All of our other times together have been here in Dubai. So I believe we have got an unrealistic exposure to having children and being in out for dinner. But let's just go back to when we were in the UK. Did we, in any of the places that we went to, have a really standout, memorable moment for Gabriel in a restaurant or a cafe?
Not standout, but I don't know if that was his age. Because he wasn't in a high chair age.
No, because I'm going to disagree here. Rewind right back to the very first outing that we made with Gabriel, and we went to the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
My God, they could not do more for us in terms of, do you need anything? Can we help? Can I hold him? The waiters and the waitresses. We didn't have a standout, memorable moment in the UK. In fact, actually, one's just come to mind, and that's that lovely place in Oppingham that we went to twice.
Oh, yeah, the Falcon.
But other than that, it was... He was passed over.
Yeah.
Did we particularly have a memorable moment in hospitality in the UK? No, not really. And I think it's because Dubai and the UAE generally, like tourism is a trade. It's a standout trade, and the service level is so high.
But I also think, moreover just than restaurants, Dubai, the UAE, is very child friendly. There's, children are the future, children are, the generation that needs to be looked after, and that comes through with education and venues and whatever else it is. I feel, looking at things differently now from a child friendly perspective, it is very child friendly here. And yes, we have different points that we maybe rate, but actually I don't think you would find anywhere better to cater to children, whether that's getting down on their level, whether that's, making sure they have different resources and just feeling very, very welcoming. You don't get that.
And engaging with him as an individual, as a young human. And it's not necessarily just hospitality. It's everything from parking bays that are not just called mama baby, but it's parent parking bays, which I think is important. And just, I guess there's a feeling of togetherness, of being welcomed, which you probably don't get elsewhere. And I don't want to do dirty on anywhere else.
No.
We live here, we call this place home. Have we had mostly or no, actually every experience that we've been out with Gabriel has been standout.
But I also think there's a couple of things. We are going to travel quite a bit with Gabriel. Will our perspective change?
Well, that's what I mean. I think we've had a high level entry into taking your baby out and having a good time. Do I think we're going to have experiences where we're going to be like, why has the high chair only got 3 legs? Oh yeah,
Cameron Hutchinson,
that's the best that
the
we can
high
do.
chair reviewer.
No, but okay, not just that. Or why is it dirty?
Yeah.
Why is the kids menu not very good quality? That's just you don't get that here.
So I'm going to round off this episode. What are your top tips for taking babies out with you?
Quiet toys. Staged process when it comes to arriving at the restaurant. There is a tendency to get everybody out at the table immediately. Do not pause, please.
Yeah, it's kind of, if he's happy, don't disrupt.
Yeah, well, what's the saying? If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. Like, just leave him where he is. He will signal when he's ready for the next stage.
There's also the Montessori approach, which is like if they're engaged with something,
yes,
you almost like ignore the child, because if they're engaged, whether he's playing with the straps or a toy or something, he in his brain he's building connections, like the synapses are pulsing. He's doing something that is interesting for him. So don't disrupt that, and that's like a play thing in general, isn't it?
Yeah, and also I think we've experienced it at home, and it's therefore easy to emulate when we go out to a restaurant, because we do have him sat at the table. He does eat with us. We don't have a meal without. In fact, most meals we all have together.
Yeah,
of course, I can't have his lunch with him because I'm at work. But most of the time, we're always having breakfast together and dinner in the evening. So yeah. What are your top tips?
I think it's about just trying new places. And I think that's scary, because Rose W1 we love, we go back to, the food's amazing, we love it. But actually, I think the more we're going out now, we need to try new places, and we need to push the boundaries, and sometimes it will be really uncomfortable, and sometimes it will fail, and we'll probably end up just rocking him to sleep and maybe ordering a large glass of wine. But I think it's about pushing the boundaries a little bit now, because I feel like we're comfortable now, and I think we need to go
to that next level.
Yeah, definitely.
I also think my final tip is that we as parents for sure do this. He enjoys a meal with us, i.e., and you can see his little bowl and spoon, which we now travel with when we go out to a restaurant.
Another top tip.
We will take that with us. We will take some of the food that's on our plates. We'll mash it up, and we'll be feeding him that whilst we're having our meal. And I think that's also really important, because he then gets to try new things, and he is also enjoying his meal with us.
And as Maxine Hutchinson says, Nanny Max, taste buds change, and we want him to taste everything.
Oh, I still hate cabbage.
Thank you so much for joining us on this child-friendly episode. If you have any places that you feel are really child-friendly that you think we should check out, please comment them below. And as always, subscribe and follow us on our At Home with the Hutchinsons journey.
Thank you. Yeah?